not even sure why I'm talking about this. It's just one of those things where it was just on my mind and I felt like, you know, flipping the camera on and sharing it with you guys because that's what I do. This has been a really long-winded smattering of stuff from my brain.
It's LeahMouseVlog, LeahMouseVlog, it's LeahMouse's vlog.
Ugh. Hey guys. That's better. I've got a little bit of time to chat while my candles and melts are cooling downstairs. Got this badass coffee cup from Maui that Brazel brought back as a gift when he went to Hawaii. He brought JJ a shot glass. This is the same thing, which I think was a super nice, lovely gesture of him. The light just got super weird. Okay, I don't know. My hair's in a bun because I don't feel like doing anything with it. I could also let it fall down like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the party video from my last vlog. It was a lot of fun. We had fun. I don't know. Wow, my hair decided to part like this right now, so I'm cool like Fonzie. Hey. Yeah, that was a good time. We had fun. Kind of miffed that like a ton of people who said they were coming didn't come because we spent a whole bunch of time, money, and energy on all that food. And now we just will have leftovers for like 2 months. But I digress. Oh my gosh, I just realized Watson is sleeping on the floor between the bed and the wall. There she is. Oh, Watson, you're so cute. So anyway, I don't know, I just had some stuff on my mind. I was watching Mr. Nightmare video while I was finishing up my candles. If you haven't heard of Mr. Nightmare, it's one of the many paranormal horror story clip video thing channels on YouTube. And I was just thinking about some stuff, you know, like there's so much more I want to do. I really wish I could devote more time to videos. Like I have video ideas and stuff, you know, other than just vlogs, but like the time it takes to script it, set up for it, film it, edit it, and all that, I just don't have that kind of time anymore, and it kind of bums me out, you know. Like I really want to do this stuff. I still have the passion and the urge, but the thing of it is, it's like, it's not that I have less time now than I did before, I guess. I mean, I kind of do because I work and I do candles and, you know, everything else. But the thing of it was before is like the situations that I was in allowed me more time because I didn't feel the need to spend a whole bunch of quality time with the people that I was with, you know what I mean? Like I was perfectly okay kind of ignoring them to spend time on videos, and I don't want to do that in my present relationship, you know, with JJ, because we actually, you know, like each other and get along and are happy and have something really good. So our time together is like really precious because we're both really busy. You know, he works a lot, I work a lot. You know, while he's at work, I'm either at work also, or I'm doing candles or doing the house stuff or whatever. And like the precious couple of hours, you know, between that and bedtime, you know, we spend together, you know, and we have the weekends too. And it's not a whole lot of time, but I mean, we need that time. And I like that time. For the first time, I actually feel good about putting time and energy into a relationship, you know, when I'm not busy doing other stuff. Like I would rather sacrifice like video content or whatever for the sake of keeping my relationship healthy, you know what I mean? And whereas before it wasn't really like that. And Draco actually posted a comment on, I think it was 2 vlogs ago, that was a really good point. You know, when it was towards the end of the vlog, it was when I was getting ready for the party. And I was talking about how I was like rambling about how happy I was, you know, with JJ and everything. And I was like, I don't know why I'm talking about this or whatever. And then Draco posted a comment, you know, he said something like, you know, well, you're happy, so of course you want to talk about it. And that's good, especially compared to the other relationships that you've had. And I was like, you know, you're right. Because in the other ones, it was, you know, it wasn't oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like I thought I was happy, but at the same time it also felt kind of forced. Like I felt like I had to push out there like, hey, we're happy, this is good, because it was like covering up the fact that I wasn't actually happy. So I felt like I had to like sort of act out and like prove everybody wrong and prove myself wrong or something like that. I don't know. But with JJ, I know it's good, so I just live it, and I don't really think about talking about it. And then when I do talk about it, I feel weird because I'm like, I don't need to talk about it because I know. And you know what I mean? And I don't care if anybody else knows necessarily. As long as I know and he knows, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So it's like the opposite. Like I don't talk about it much because it's good, because I don't feel the need to talk about it because I know it's good and I'm not trying to compensate for anything. You know what I mean? In essence, since I put time and energy into a relationship that is so good, I don't put time into my creative projects, which I'm okay with, you know. I mean, I just wish there were more hours in a day or a week or a month, you know what I mean? So like, if I really wanted to make the sacrifice, I could, but like, I don't want to make the sacrifice because it's, you know, at the end of the day, like, I don't want to ignore someone that I'm devoted to for a YouTube video because it's a lot of time. If it was just a couple of hours, that would be one thing, but these things aren't just a couple of hours. Like they're like a full day or 2 or 4 or something like that, you know, between the scripting and the filming and the prepping and the editing and all that. Like it's more than just a couple of hours. So I wouldn't want to ignore him for like 4 straight days just to make a YouTube video that like 1,000 people are gonna see. You know what I mean? I don't make a ton of money from YouTube. It's not my job. You know, I vlog because I want to, and that's the reason that I mostly do the vlogs now, is because it's easier, it's much less time consuming. I can just sort of be real and be myself, and I can still put stuff out there and connect with you guys without like devoting a crap ton of time and energy into it, but it's still something that I like to do, and I can do it, and it's plausible and feasible and doable and awesome. My stupid battery light is flashing at me because I'm a dummy and didn't charge my battery after the party. So I guess I need to abruptly cut off my train of thought to go charge my battery, which is just my favorite thing ever to do. So I'll be back in a minute, I guess. Okay, now what the heck was I saying? So yeah, I know JJ wouldn't mind, obviously. He's super supportive. Like, he wouldn't mind if I devoted a whole bunch of time to videos and stuff, you know? I think after a while, he might have a different idea because, I mean, like, you know, it would be like 2 days or 4 days, you know, just for one video. And then, you know, you put in like multiple videos into that, and I would never see the guy. And it'd be different. But I know he wouldn't mind. It's not about him personally holding me back or anything like that. It's my choice. I would feel bad. I don't want to put myself in a position of, you know, focusing so hard on something that neglects nurturing a relationship, you know, like in those movies where you see the dad who's always like the absentee dad and he's never there for his kids or his wife because he's always working and always all about his job and super career driven, and like his family just sort of fades to the back. That's how it would be if I actually put focus into YouTube videos, you know what I mean? And I know other people can do it because that's solely what they do, because they have like millions of subscribers, millions of views, and they actually make money, and they can devote their time and energy to that because that's all they do, and it's worth it and it pays off, literally. But I can't because I have a regular job. And I also do the candles, which takes a lot of time. So I don't have this giant chunk of time to set aside to also do videos. And it kind of stinks, you know, in a way, but at the same time, I'm very, very grateful that I have something that I don't need an escape from, because that's how it also was in, you know, previous times, you know, when I was doing a lot of YouTube videos and stuff and pouring a whole bunch of time and hours and days and lots of energy and stuff into YouTube videos. I needed that escape. I did. My voice cracked, I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I needed that kind of escape back then. I used work and YouTube videos as my escape to make me feel better like self-esteem wise. Like, see, I'm not as worthless as this other person makes me feel. I'm not stupid like this other person makes me feel. You know, like, this is my expertise, this is my little corner of creativity, this is what I'm good at, and if I put my energy into this, I'll feel better about myself and not be focusing on how crappy I feel with the interactions, you know, with this other person, you know what I mean? So that's another factor, you know, with JJ, is like, I don't need an escape. I don't need it. I don't feel the need for it at all. Like, if I really put my mind to it, you know, I could like hurry up and do candles like one day and then have the next day to 100% devote to a video. But I don't really want to. It's so weird. It's like, I don't know. I'm not even sure why I'm talking about this. It's just one of those things where it was just on my mind and I felt like, you know, flipping the camera on and sharing it with you guys, because that's what I do in my vlogs every once in a while. I just word vomit at you, and just, this is my way of, you know, keeping you guys in the loop instead of just like the surface level stuff, like, oh look, I'm making candles, or look, I'm having a party, or this and that. You know, I want you guys to know, you know, the real stuff too. I feel like it helps keep us connected, you know. You see, and that's another reason I do the vlogs so much, you know, as opposed to like the main channel videos, like the funny skits or the stage things or the scripted things or whatever. It's sort of the same thing that I feel with JJ. I care about nurturing and cultivating a relationship with you guys too, which entails showing you the more real stuff and talking about the more real stuff, you know, which is what takes place here on the vlog channel as opposed to the main channel. So I guess you could say in the last couple of years, cultivating personal relationships, even over the internet, you know, with people that I haven't necessarily met like you guys, but I still kind of feel like I know you because you're there. I know who you are, you know, and you know me and you see me and stuff. And everything with JJ and like the friends that, you know, we've made together and things, like, it's much more important to me now than I ever thought it could be, because it's like self-preservation sort of came first before, because I was in so many toxic situations where I literally didn't have the mental capacity to think about nurturing any kind of relationship other than the one I have with myself, because I was like, I just need to stay afloat mentally. That's like all I need to do at the end of the day, because if I focus too hard on what I'm going through and how I'm feeling and not trying to keep myself mentally stable here, I am going to crash and burn. And I actually did crash and burn anyway a few times. So you know how they say the thing about like, you can't truly love somebody else until you love yourself? Yeah. 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 Oh man. It was so easy to not see that for what it was back then. I think I was just kind of in, like I said, a self-preservation mode. Preservation? I don't know. It was just an instinctive thing that kicked in. I wasn't really aware of what was going on. I wasn't aware of the fact that I was acting in my own best self-interest, you know, from my mental state or my emotional state. Like, I wasn't aware of it. I just kind of did what my instincts were telling me to do to stay afloat and stay sane and just, you know, help me in whatever way, you know, small way that I could help myself. Aside from just, you know, getting the hell out of the toxic environments. But, you know, that came later and I finally succeeded. Yay. And now here we are. But yeah, so like now that I'm in an actual good, healthy place with everything, it is so much easier and clearer to look back on all of that and just kind of go, oh, damn. Oh. Like, there's just kind of no words for how I feel looking back on that and really realizing what was actually going on, you know, that I was I mean, I was aware of it at the time. I wasn't stupid. I was aware of the fact that I was unhappy and something was off, but it's just so glaringly obvious now that I'm in a completely different situation. For the first time in my life, I'm actually in a healthy situation. And I mean, literally for the first time in my life, like shit has been toxic since high school. If you want to throw every factor that you can in. I mean, my parents were always cool, but like my friends, for the most part, were pretty much awful. Like my saving grace in high school was marching band. That's the thing that I turned to for my self-esteem back then, because I was like, okay, I'm good at this. I can pour my heart and my energy and my soul into this, and I can just sort of be in my little, like, this is awesome and I can excel and work hard at this and feel good about it bubble, you know. And then after high school, it sort of became like all these creative projects that I would do, you know, or my piano playing or whatever. And then it became YouTube, you know, and then it became candles and YouTube, and then it, like, I got the job at Papa John's, and then I like poured my heart and soul into that, even though it was just a pizza place job. Like I focused so intensely on that just because it was an escape and something that I could individually work at and be proud of and focus on, and didn't allow in the reality of my toxic environment, you know, even though that was the reason that I needed that, was because of the toxic environment, but I wasn't conscious of it. I just knew on some level, I guess, that I needed a focus, a healthy focus for myself, to stay living on, like, in a mindset where I felt like I was worth something. You know what I mean? This is getting really deep. It's weird. This is what I think about, you know. I'm a very deep thinker. This is where my mind goes, and it's very interesting to sort of psychoanalyze my past life, because this is literally, like I said, the first time I've ever been in a healthy situation, like ever, like, and I don't just mean JJ, like, yeah, that's a big part of it, because the person that you're sharing a life with, you know, if it's crap, it affects everything. But if it's awesome, it just is, and you can just sort of like and just relax and sink into it, and it's wonderful. And it also, by ripple effect, affects everything too. So, and then it's easier to look back on your past circumstances and go, I thought I was happy. Whoa, did I really think I thought that was what happiness was? Whoa, I was deluded as hell. Like, he did the same thing, you know, like, now that he's with me, he's said the same thing. He's like, I don't know how I ever could have thought that I was happy before you. Like, this is something totally new and totally different for me. And I can't believe that I ever thought I was happy before. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? It's like so weird. Like, we've talked about this so many times, and we've shared so many conversations about this. But so it's not only him, but I mean, like, I can pour my love and affection into the animals. Scrappy's back here sleeping, you know, and I just love them dearly. And, you know, they're like my kids, you know, I'm motherly with them, and that makes me feel good to have something little that sort of depends on me and I can take care of and love and everything. And that feels really good. And then, of course, I've got you guys, you know, you all build me up, and I like being here for you too. And it makes it so much easier for me to be able to reach out to you guys and be more open, because, like, before, I had stuff to hide. I'll be honest. I had things to hide. I didn't want people to find out that I was in toxic relationships, abusive relationships, you know, super miserable behind the camera, bursting into tears, screaming in agony, you know, in fights that lasted for 12 hours. You know, I didn't want you guys to know that. So I had to put so much energy into putting forth this I'm so happy front, you know, and on some level, I believed it too. So it's not like I was lying to you guys. I think I was more lying to myself. So what I put out there for you guys, I really believed. Like, it was just a massive projection of a lie I was telling myself just to get through it and maintain my sanity, you know what I mean? But then, and then also, like, you know, JJ's introduced me to a lot of friends, and we've made friends together, and those people are really good, and it's easier for me to be more open. And it's odd, like, he and I were talking about this around the fire the other night after our party, and I was like, you know, it's so weird. Like, I'm so comfortable around people now, like, not all people, but select people, in ways that I never thought that I could be, because normally I'm weirded out by certain stuff when it comes to socializing or being too close with people. Like, I don't like being hugged. I have this thing about you know, I have a bubble. I don't like excessive affection, you know, unless it's from, you know, my boyfriend or my mom or, you know, his family or whatever like that. But I mean, just like random people or a new friend or something, I'm weird about like the physical affection or the verbal affection and things like that. But then there's some people who I instantly am comfortable about that with, like Yvonne, for example. Yvonne is the most wonderful human being, I swear to God. She's wonderful, and I feel zero awkwardness around her, and I have from like the first day. Like, I just felt like, you know what? I have no bubble with you because you get me and I get you, and it feels good. And I've never really had that before either. So it's interesting to me that just being in a calm, placid, I guess placid isn't the right word because that implies it's just kind of sitting there, but like just a, you know, not in, I hate to keep repeating myself and using the same freaking nomenclature over and over, but like not being in a toxic environment makes all the difference. Like being in a healthy environment allows my mind to explore other avenues of how to be a person in the world, you know, instead of just solely focusing on survival in my immediate circumstance. Does that make sense? Like, I'm getting so freaking deep. I had too much coffee. This isn't good. But it's cool, you know, it's really cool how different life feels now versus the rest of my life. Like, I've been with JJ for 2 years now, and like, it's just so amazing. Like, we both talk about this a lot. Like, we're just like, do you ever just like stop and like look at our house or look at each other, look at our lives and go, dang, this is awesome. Like, and he was like, yeah, or he'll say it to me and I'm like, yeah. Like, we both just kind of have these like epiphany moments where we're just sort of scooting through our lives, and then we'll just stop and sort of take it in and realize what we have, and we're just kind of blown away by it because it is really incredible. It's incredible what we've built together, both, you know, physically, like around us, like with our home and our finances and our jobs and everything, but like with each other too. It's kind of mind-blowing. And it was so effortless. I think that's what makes it so mind-blowing. Like, we barely had to put any work into what we have. I mean, we work hard. Don't get me wrong. We work hard, like at our jobs and our lives and keeping things in order, but it feels easy. It feels effortless. It doesn't feel like we're toiling and sweating over trying to keep stuff going the way it is. It just kind of is. And it's so strange, you know, like I had to work so hard and it was just so draining and exhausting just to keep things at like a below mediocre point with everybody else. And with JJ, it's just like, whoo, like, hey, you know, the sky's the limit and it's easy. It's so weird. I am super freaking rambling, but hey, you got yourself into this. You clicked play. You're still watching. I'm absolved from any blame. This is on you. If you're bored, it's your fault. Okay, I'm not trying to gaslight you, okay? Like, I'm aware that I'm a rambler, but this is what goes on in my brain, and this is what happens when caffeine is a factor. And it's just kind of neat to let you guys know what I think about, because I never did that before, you know? And by before, I mean essentially before JJ. Like, I know it's weird to use him as like a landmarker, if that's what you want to call it. But I mean, it really is. Like, even just becoming his friend, and we were friends for like 6 months before we even got together. Even just becoming his friend made all the difference. Because he was like the best, most supportive friend I think I've ever had. Like, he kept it real. And that's what I need in a friend. I need someone to keep it real. I don't need someone to give me the little cushy, like, oh, but you're awesome. Oh, but this and oh, but that. Like the little sugar-coaty stock best friend answers that just are blind support. I don't need that. I don't necessarily like that in a friend. I want you to tell me how it is. If I'm being stupid, tell me, you know, like, just be a true person to me, be a true human being to me, and that's the way I want it to be. Someone who really knows me and actually sees what's going on, like, sees it, you know, is in there, in the thick of it, knows what I have expressed to them, and can see it for themselves plain as day. Like, freaking tell me, you know what I mean? And he's the same way, and I was apparently a really good friend to him too. He tells me that. He's like, you were like my best friend during a time when I needed it most. And you know, that's really cool that we could do that for each other. So like, yeah, I think that's why we ended up falling for each other. It was a complete accident because we were just such good friends and we got each other right away and we got along right away and we were both just real with each other and honest and upfront, and we truly liked who the other person was, which was a huge deal, you know, from the get-go. And there was none of that silly like, oh, putting my best foot forward because I want to date this person thing. It was just like, no, we just hit it off as friends, talked, got to know each other, helped each other through some sludge with no intention of being together whatsoever. And in so doing, we ended up falling for each other against our wills even. We were like, oh, I think I like this person. Uh-oh. And then here we are. So it's so great. You know, we did it right. Completely by accident, by building something on top of a really strong foundation of friendship and trust and loyalty and support, which is what you need to do. And I think that's what made us work so well and continues to make us work so well. So this has been a really long-winded smattering of stuff from my brain, and I hope you enjoyed it on some level. I don't know what else to say. I really don't, but this is what was on my mind today. My hair looks so dumb. Like, what is this? What is going on with my weird side part? Is this the 80s? Or let's make it even more. Like, we're gonna do... No, that's just awful. Get out. Go back to your normal part, you dumb. There you go. That's close enough. I'd rather have it on this side. Oh. Anyway, Scrappy's adorable. Okay, well that's enough bleep 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 for today. Thanks for hanging in there if you did make it this far. I'm curious how many people actually watch my videos to the end. My suspicion is that not many do. I know a few of you really loyal people do, and I thank you for that. So if you watch this all the way through, I want you to leave a comment that says, watch out for the sheep. I don't know why. That's the first thing that randomly popped in my head. So watch out for the sheep. Put it in the comments so that I know you actually watched this whole video, and you'll get a gold star and 8 million cool points. And you can cash that in for nothing, but know that you have my respect there. It's worth my respect. Something. I don't know. I need to stop talking. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Okay, bye.